It has been so frustrating to watch Republicans over the past 24 hours just spread blatant misinformation and straight up lie about Tyler Robinson, the man accused of shooting Charlie Kirk. They've really run with any narrative to paint this guy as a crazy far left lunatic who shot Charlie Kirk because he's so liberal, when in reality, we have no idea what this guy believed. We have no idea if he was left wing, right wing, an extreme of either side, because authorities have not confirmed anything. And so far, the evidence that the public has been able to dig up has been nothing concrete. We have no idea. And actually, one of the main pieces of evidence that Republicans ran with to paint this guy as a liberal, a leftist crazy lunatic, has now been retracted. It's no longer published. They're now correcting themselves. This story, which we talked about on this channel, you might have seen. It's publication, it's a reporting, I should say, from The Guardian, where they wrote that the suspect's high school friend said that Robinson was the only leftist in a family of very hard Republicans. Their exact quote from this anonymous source who went to school with Robinson was, quote, "He was the only member of his family that was really leftist, and that he was pretty left on everything. The rest of his family was very hard Republican." Republicans took this story from The Guardian and ran with it, and they used it to paint the guy as a leftist, a crazy lunatic. But this reporting has now been retracted. I mean, this might be the craziest editor's note I've ever seen, but The Guardian added this into their article, saying this article was updated on the 12th of September, 2025, to remove quotes after the verified source who attended high school with Tyler Robinson said after publication that they could not accurately remember details of their relationship. I mean, a major, major mess up. And this quote, that quote that we just read from The Guardian, has gone far and wide. Every single Republican influencer account and Fox News and all these different MAGA media figures have run with it to spread a narrative. Now, will they offer a correction, a retraction on what they said? No, they will not. No, they will not. And I've checked. I've looked at some of the major MAGA accounts in preparation for this video to see if any of them, just one, offered a correction on their claiming that this guy was left-wing based on The Guardian reporting. Not a one. Not a one. And I do want to reiterate that, we don't know if this guy was left-wing or right-wing, and it's so frustrating to see people jump the gun. It's always a safe bet to wait for the facts come out. It's never a safe bet to jump the gun. I don't know more than the authorities, so I'm not going to sit here to you and speculate and lead you astray. I will always only bring you what we know and factual reporting, and of course I'll give you my opinion, but I'm not going to speculate on something that we have no firsthand account of. I mean, I'm not in the investigation. These MAGA influencers aren't. I don't know why they're jumping the gun, and this is just yet another example of information in this story that has had to be retracted. The Wall Street Journal did it the other day in another narrative that MAGA ran with. Remember, we talked about it on this channel, that the Wall Street Journal claimed that the shooter wrote trans ideology messages on the bullets, unspent casings, engraved them into the bullets. The Wall Street Journal later had to come out and say that wasn't true. They added this editor's note to their article where they claimed it, and they said an earlier version of this article detailed how an internal law enforcement bulletin said that ammunition recovered following the Charlie Kirk shooting was engraved with expressions of transgender and anti-fascist ideology. DOJ officials later urged caution about the bulletin by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, saying it may not accurately reflect the messages on the ammunition, and the article was updated Thursday to reflect that. So the point is here, take all of this stuff with a grain of salt, which Republicans are not doing because you know why? They have a new narrative. There's a new piece of reporting that Republicans are hanging their hat on to make a definitive conclusion as to what this guy believed. And it's coming exclusively from right-wing sources. This story that we're about to talk about, the new message that they're running with, has only been reported so far by Fox News and Newsmax. And the Newsmax guy said it came from Donald Trump. So really, it's been reported by Fox News and Donald Trump. This is a Fox News reporter, Fox Digital. Her name is Brooke Singman. And she wrote today, and the tweet has gone incredibly viral, 11 million views. So the damage is done even if it comes out to be false later, which we don't know if it is false, but regardless. Exclusive, Charlie Kirk assassin Tyler Robinson lived with his transgender partner. Sources tell me the individual, who's a male transitioning to a female, is fully cooperating with the FBI. Sources tell me the FBI had texts and other communications between Robinson and the individual that helped FBI authorities solidify that Robinson was indeed the shooter. Look, as I mentioned, I really take this stuff with a grain of salt because it's coming from right-wing media and so many pieces of information have had to be retracted, but it just seems too convenient that Republicans are trying to work something LGBTQ plus related into this story. And it could turn out to be true. I don't know, right? I just don't know. And I'm not going to really speculate on whether it is or isn't. I'm just going to show you what we know to be true, but this just seems like too convenient in my view, that they're just kind of jumping on this now, and this is the big story. And I think Adam Cochran, who is on X, put it well in response to this piece of reporting from this Fox News reporter, saying the FBI and news outlets have run with any crazy tip they get and then retracted it later. Sources telling you he lived with a trans partner when people in his apartment building have already been interviewed is insane. You think in small town Utah, a conservative hotbed, the guy lived in an apartment with someone trans and no one noticed? Not one of the people that spoke to the press about him mentioned even a partner, never mind a trans one. But after 36 hours of having his laptop and all of the claims of him being leftist being retracted and fake, and of course Kash Patel's job being on the line, I think this is true, suddenly a news story from another unnamed source is exclusive to an administration-friendly reporter and just happens to fit the narrative they were looking for. It was literally a Fox News affiliate at Fox News 13 who did the apartment interviews days ago. You're telling me they chose to just overlook that story? What an absolute trash rag journalist. And it's true. Like, the people at the apartment complex were spoken to, and none of them said anything about a trans living partner or partner relationship, whatever it might be. And that's why I just think the story is so weird. And I'm so skeptical now that they've got it wrong time and time and time again and had to retract it. And this story just so conveniently fits their reporting or their goal here in demonizing people. And I want to stress again, maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. We just don't know. We just don't know. There are so many questions. This is the account that the Daily Mail claims is Tyler Robinson's transgender roommate. Literally nothing on it supports this. I mean, that's obviously true. So far, this is all they have. This is the only photo, and they're saying that this is apparently part of the reason that Tyler Robinson got radicalized. I don't even know what the claim is here from the Republicans. I mean, let's just say hypothetically that the roommate is transgender. What does that mean? Like, does that mean that they influenced Tyler Robinson to do it? Does that mean that they were extreme? Most trans people are just normal people who want to live their lives and be happy. They're not lunatics, as MAGA would like to believe. So I don't even know, even if the story is true, what that changes, but I'm sure it changes a lot for them. And here's another thing I just want to highlight from Adam Cochran, saying, well, there we go, some clarity from the Daily Mail of all places. Tyler splits a 3-bedroom apartment with roommates. One is a guy who desperately wants to be a pro gaming streamer and may be trans identifying, That person was cooperative with police. But this roommate, Lance, was also the one who claimed to have Discord messages from Tyler about the shooting. Discord proved that he did not. There's no indication on social media for Lance or Tyler that they are in a relationship. In fact, nothing shows them ever interacting, and Lance's profiles, which are still open, show no connection with any of Tyler's. There's no confirmation that Lance is trans. Lance's identity was revealed in separate reporting. This is important. And the trans component seems to have come from appearance and gamer tags, not any self-declaration, which is important. And I actually do think it's important with stories like this to hear from a trans person. This is Stacy on Twitter saying, so let me get this straight. This trans woman allegedly helped the FBI apprehend a killer, and the whole article is focused on smearing her. That doesn't seem right. You're damn right it doesn't seem right. So we'll see what happens with this new article that's come out from the Daily Mail and Fox News and these right-wing reporters. I'll keep you updated. And again, I do want to say, could it be true? Yes. Could it be false? Yes. I think take it with a grain of salt, and just especially take it with a grain of salt because it's only coming from the right wing, and it just seems to perfectly fit into place for the narrative that they want to push. But regardless, I'll leave the video there. I just especially had to talk about this Guardian article being retracted. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.